Here's 3 tips for small business owners to help them with their productivity in the workplace, especially if they work at home. What's up, guys? My name's Corey, and I'm an agency owner, a marketing agency owner. I've been doing this for the last 12 years, and there's been a couple things that I have learned that have showed me that when I do them, it makes me a lot more effective at my job. Now, at any given time, there could be dozens of clients that are reaching out to me to say things like, do I have 10 minutes? Do I have 5 minutes? Can you talk real quick? Can I run this by you? And while I want to be there for all of them, in fact, I love telling people that if you feel like anything other than my only client, that I'm doing something wrong, and that's still very true. I think that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, it's very important to understand where I'm spending my time. So that's my first tip. The first tip is making sure that you understand exactly where and how you are spending your time on a daily basis. We've been using a tool here called Toggl, Toggl. You can just Google it. And this tool has really helped us to understand exactly where all of us are spending our time so that at the end of the week, the month, the quarter, we can say, all right, we spent the majority of our time on this client or working on this project, and just kind of have an internal discussion about whether that's the most effective use of our time, where that's gotten us, and so on and so forth. So, measuring it and logging it, I know that might be hard, but this Toggl app makes it a lot easier. You can just press a button, start the timer, and then you can sync it up with your Google Calendar and make sure that if you have a meeting, you can classify it as whatever client or project that you're working on. And at the end, it gives you a great snapshot so you can fully understand. It takes a great amount of discipline. I'm looking down here at my notes. It takes a great amount of discipline to understand how you're spending your time, especially if you work at home like me. I have a home office. I have another office in another location if I need to go there for photo shoots and things of that nature. But understanding the discipline that it takes to not do a load of laundry or clean the house or talk to your kids or talk to your family during a time when you're supposed to be productive is very important. So that discipline goes really hand in hand with understanding where you're spending your time. So we'll call that tip number 1. Tip number 2 is kind of odd to think about, but nutrition. How much time are you thinking about the food that you eat on a daily basis? Oftentimes, entrepreneurs are just going so fast that they don't even have time to think about what they eat or even take time for themselves to eat a good meal. But what I found is that when I think about my nutrition, my brain can fire better. I can come up with ideas better. I have better energy. And I think about every meal that I have as benefiting me in a way. It sounds so irritating, right? But I really want it to benefit my brain and my energy so that I can have that energy and be there and be present for my clients on a daily basis. So that's something that is the heart of who I am, right? So I think if you're thinking about nutrition as a small business owner, you have to think about every single thing. The coffee that you drink in the morning. What type of coffee? How much cream are you going to put in it? Are you having 1 cup or 5 cups? When are you going to cut off your caffeine? Are you going to eat breakfast? Are you going to exercise? Exercise and nutrition kind of go together for me. How many steps are you doing a day? Is that important to you? How many times are you getting up from your desk every day? Nutrition, and now we're kind of bleeding into exercise. All of these things are extremely important for small business owners because they're the ones that could sit at their desk all day long and be perfectly happy, but forget to eat, forget to drink, forget to hydrate, and really just not feel very good and bring their best to their own business and other people's business day in and day out. Tip number 3 is kind of along that health and wellness, but I think it's really important, and that is sleep. Getting to sleep on time is really important. I was talking to someone the other day who's a fellow business owner, an entrepreneur, if you will, and he said, I'm a night owl. I stay up and do most of my work at night. But the truth is, if you're thinking about circadian rhythm and if you're the type of person that's up when the sun is up and you go to sleep when it's dark, that's how it's supposed to be, right? We hear Andrew Huberman and Peter Attia and all these other lifestyle and longevity gurus talking about this stuff. And so there's got to be some truth to it, right? I would say going to bed and sleeping, and even Brian Johnson. I love Brian Johnson with Blueprint, right? The guy that's trying to live forever. I feel like going to sleep is what they always say is probably the best thing that you can do for your health. because when you get proper sleep, again, your brain works properly. And in order for your brain to work properly, you've got to fuel it. And I wear an Apple Watch. I don't have it on right now, but I wear an Apple Watch and I actually track my sleep. And it's not to be obsessive. I just want to make sure that I know kind of what I'm dealing with. Why am I off today? And it's usually tied to the deep sleep that I have. And so the deep sleep is the sleep that's going to just like rewire your brain. So just something to think about. Get to bed, wake up, and feel good about it. I typically aim for 8 hours in bed. That means about 7.5 hours of sleep with, an hour or less, between 40 minutes and an hour of deep sleep. And that seems to work for me. But find out what works for you and stick to it. Be purposeful about your sleep because I think that's going to help you in the long run. Finally, this is a good one. Are you a consumer or a producer of social media? Think about this question for a second. Do you post daily as a producer, like me, trying to get the message out there about what you do? Or are you a consumer in that you scroll, you like things, you share things, you enjoy the platforms? I am both. During the day, though, I am not a consumer. I am only a producer. And I produce content throughout the entire day for not only all of my clients, but also for myself and my business. At night, before I go to bed, with my little blue light blockers sometimes, I will be a consumer. And the platform that I love the most is TikTok. I don't know why. I am not on any other social media platform as a consumer other than TikTok because it makes me smile. My feed is customized for me. I see dogs getting pedicures. I see basketball updates. I see, pranks and things. These things make me happy. So for me, being a consumer has a great payoff. I skip political things. I skip any kind of negative news, and I really enjoy it. So again, is it ideal to be watching social media and consuming social media at night? Probably not. Does it affect my sleep? No. I've tracked it. I know. So I'm not saying that's going to be the same for you, but be mindful about it and know that if you're doing it, that you're doing it on purpose, right? I hope these tips helped you. Being an entrepreneur can be a lonely road, but it can also be absolutely incredible and exhilarating if you have the right discipline, the right nutrition, you get good sleep, and you decide if and when you are a consumer or a producer of social media. Until next time, my friends, take care. Much love. Bye.